Parasailing World Championship. The weather is brightening up after the morning rain and the breeze is pretty good now. But remember, we're sailing on a lake, so the wind could be quite shifty and gusty. Let's find out how the sailors are dealing with this challenge.
Well, it's rough today. So in the morning light there, and right now it's puffy, it's rough. Great. And the sun is shining. You see the wind coming, and mostly there's a shift. I see the wind coming, the patterns on the color of the water. If I see the wind patterns, then I can react.
So far, Brasmermere has been delivering some great wind and some great conditions. So I would say the big thing for sailors here in this venue is to keep your eyes up and out of the boat, to look for pressure as it comes down, and then be aware of what the shift is going to do, because sometimes if you're not prepared for those can be really dangerous.
Clearly, shifty and challenging conditions for our parasailers today. Currently, we have 10 nations sitting on the medal board across 4 fleets. Racing is tight and positions are still moving, so keep an eye on our Parasailing World Championships.
It's day 2 of the Allianz Sailing World Championships here in The Hague. The breeze came on. The 49er FX and the NACRA were out this morning. A lot to talk about there. And the 470s. This was their chance to qualify for the championship fleet. The Japanese are still in the lead in that fleet, so good for them. The Chinese, even with one race, just kind of slid down quite a bit. So watch, there's a lot of changes going on in that 470 fleet going into the gold fleet. Next up is the NACRA. The NACRA, the Italians came out a couple more bullets today. Tita and Banti. The FX, they're out there right now, but the big story with the FX today was the Swedish women's team. Bobeck and Netzler, 3 bullets today. They are in, and man, they were so stoked. When they left this morning, they were happy. They're saying, let's take on these big waves. It's blowing 20 knots, 4 to 5 foot waves. A brilliant day here at The Hague.
And another team that liked it tough were the Dutch, #1 49ers, Lambrix and Van der Werken, who fired home 2 firsts and a second.
Look at the YouTube channel for World Sailing and the Allianz Sailing World Championships. There's a little bell on the bottom. Ring that bell just to make sure you get notified when we go live towards the end of next week. And just keep watching this space. The breeze looks fantastic for the rest of the week. Even bigger breeze tomorrow, so please stay tuned.
This is Nick Douglas, your attack reporter out for day 4 of the Allianz Sailing World Championship. It is the first day that we have had the Ilka 7s out racing, and I tell you what, it's rough and ready out here. We're going to show you just how tough it can be out here on the racetrack with an incredibly talented fleet. It is definitely choppy out here. The wind is due to abate all day. That's 1 minute to go, and you can see these boats really muscling to find their pecking order on the starting line. After a general recall, which means there were too many boats over at the start, the race committee have opted to go for a black flag. This means that if any of the sailors are over with 1 minute to go, they will be disqualified. Here we go, they'll be muscling their way to windward, Croatian most to the boat end. But look at this fleet. Every single wave they'll be muscling over. It takes its toll on the body, and the depth of the fleet here is nothing short of exceptionally talented. I mentioned that keeping these boats flat is fast, and you can see that their body weight is out to the windward side, or the side where the wind is coming from of the boat. Their feet are under straps, and they're using their boat weight as much as possible to steer the boat rather than using their rudder, which slows it down whenever they move it. There is a saying in the sailing community, and that is, if you can sail an Ilka, you can sail anything well. And here we come into the finish with the Ilka 7, the Italian leading the way with a black flag start and quite a few disqualifications. Hopefully you have learned a little bit about the black flag, but also just how intense these boats are to sail.